evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
On behalf of Institution of Engineers, Tamil Nadu State Center and Salem Local Center, we are happy to welcome that today program World Environment Day. This day is celebrated every June 5th every year from 1974. Today, our council member N.T. Rangareddy sir and our ICC chairman Pradeep Chaturvedi sir and our Brahma Reddy council member and our committee members, state center committee members, our secretary Kannan sir and all other participants. Once again, I welcome. And then today our chief guest, Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy, is a founder of Environmentalist Foundation of India and founder of Chris Info Media. So, Arun Krishnamurthy, once again, I welcome to you. Welcome, sir. With this, I welcome all the other participants also. With this, Mr. Karthikeyan, sir, just you brief about that team and.
Yeah, this is my time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good evening to respected chairman and respected Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy and young environmentalist who has been awarded a prestigious Rolex Awards for Enterprise for the scientific restoration of lakes and a prestigious Google Alumni Impact Award, a young leader selected by the New India, Indian Express. And today we have a great environmentalist, young environmentalist based in Chennai for giving the lecture on the theme of ecosystem restoration during the International Environment Day celebrations. As our respected chairman pointed out that every year June 5th we are celebrating Environment Day, and today we have a great speaker, and appropriately he has restored more than 39 lakes across our country by using the scientific methods. That is more important, not a random method. By using the different scientific methods, he has restored more than 40 lakes across the country. So that is why the Tamil Nadu State Center has invited Arun Krishnamurthy for giving the speech, the right theme of ecosystem restoration. I have been given to explain about the 5 minutes about the theme ecosystem restoration. Anyway, engineer Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy is going to explain about the ecosystem restoration, and it is the time for I will take some 3 minutes to explain about the ecosystem. And ecosystem restoration is defined as a process of reversing the degradation of ecosystems such as landscapes, lakes, and oceans to regain their ecological functionality. In other words, to improve the productivity and capacity of ecosystems to meet the needs of the society. This can be done by allowing the natural regeneration of overexploited ecosystems or by planting trees and other plants. The objective of ecosystem restoration is contribute to the conservation and the sustainable use of biodiversity, as well as create social, economic, and environmental benefit, whereby healthy and connected ecosystems should contribute to improve the food and water security and people's livelihoods and to mitigate and adapt to climatic change. Considering the ecosystems as socio-economical areas which deliver the multiple functions that benefit a diversity of stakeholders can help to identify the drivers of ecosystem degradation and loss, the existing interest to manage the landscape and economic issues, and long-term goals for the ecosystem. And ecosystem is a dynamic complex of plant, animal, and microorganisms, communities, and their non-living environment interacting as a functional unit. And ecosystem restoration is guided by the principles 3, mainly One is a complement to and should not replace conservation activities and should be consistent with the CBD provisions, including the ecosystem approach principles, and should be planned at various scales and implemented in using the best availability of science and traditional knowledge. And ecosystem restoration sustainability supports the objectives of international agreements and global objectives, including the Sustainable Development Goals, specifically targeting goal number 6, 14, and 15. And goal number 6 of Sustainable Development Goals, goal number 6 is clean water and sanitation, and goal number 14, life below water, and goal number 15, life on land. So that is why the United Nations General Assembly has declared the years 2021 through 2030 the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. United Nations Environment Program and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, together with the support of the other partners, will lead the event to prevent and halt and reverse the loss and degradation of ecosystems worldwide. And today we are celebrating the Environment Day by inviting Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy, the youngest, dynamic, and spiritorious environmentalist based in Chennai, for giving the lecture about the ecosystem restoration. I think I request our respected chairman, we associate with Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy for doing a lot of restoration activities in Chennai, not only in Chennai, other parts of Tamil Nadu also. He is doing restoration of lakes across the country also. We can utilize the services of Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy, and we can do some of the wonders restoration activities through the students community. And once again, on behalf of the Tamil Nadu State Center and myself, I welcome, I express my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Krishnamurthy for coming on board and accepting our invitations on Environment Day celebrations. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Thank you.
Sir, Arul Selvan, sir.
Okay, sir.
So kindly
Thank you, sir.
give a
And we invite
introduction about the
Engineer Arul Selvan
Sir.
to give introduction about Mr.
Speaker.
Arun Krishnamurthy.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So today's chief guest, Engineer Arun Krishnamurthy, and the state chairman of the Tamil Nadu IEI, Engineer Ramadas sir, and the honorary secretary of the state center, Kannan sir, then the committee member of the Environment Division, Dr. V. Karthikeyan, the principal chair of the Polytechnic College, then the council members and fellow engineers and invitees. Good evening to all of you. First of all, it is a great honor for me to introduce our chief guest of today. So real change makers are those that do not wait for somebody else to bring up about change. Instead, they themselves become that somebody. So there are several change makers around you. One of them is today's our guest speaker, Sri Arun Krishnamurthy. So Arun Krishnamurthy was born on 1986 and spent his childhood in Mudichur, a village 29 kilometers from Chennai. He studied in Good Earth School located in Naduveerapattur and completed his bachelor's in microbiology from Madras Christian College and worked at Google Hyderabad for over 3 years. So Arun then went to study in the Indian Institute of Mass Communication in Delhi. He then joined Goodall's Group and Suits in India in 2008, an organization that helps young people to resolve problems within the communities. He has said that he was inspired by a village panchayat head, Damodaran, who had encouraged people to collect the garbage from the pond to keep it clean. Arun's friend Karthik Sivasubramaniam was also his inspiration. He enjoys filmmaking, photography, and cycling. So Arun Krishnamurthy, he is an Indian environmental activist who has initiated a campaign of cleaning various states. Environmental Foundation of India (EFI) during the year 2011, based in Chennai, which has its branches in other cities such as Hyderabad, Delhi, and Coimbatore. The organization recruits politics mainly through social programs, including seminars and workshops. Their main projects include like restoration, beach cleanup, earth restoration, stray animal care, and eco-bag introduction. So Arun with the organization has been successful in cleaning more than 50 lakhs and 60 ponds in the country. As a strong environment public speaker, Arun is known for his riveting speeches. His TEDx talks at Bangalore, NIT Trichy, XLRI Jamshedpur, and VSS2 Sambalpur, GCT Coimbatore, IIM Kashipur, and others were well received. His speeches focus on India's rivers, lakes, and wildlife. So Arun Krishnamurthy is known for directing several environmental documentary films also. This includes a television series titled Neeru Nilamum, which was telecasted for 8 months on Tanvi TV. The travel documentary on rivers of Tamil Nadu, scripted and shot by Arun and the Team Environmental Film Association, was well received. So the documentaries were on the Kaveri, Tamirabarani, Vaingai, Adayar, Kuvam, Kosakalayar, and Palar, and Tenpenayar. So Arun stated cleaning the Gurunadam lake in Hyderabad and a lake in Delhi, and included several other programs such as Green Gramam, which is a development plan for establishing eco-friendly villages, Anipod, which is stray animal care program, and Waste Not, which offers waste management solutions. They have set up 19 biodiversity parks in schools. Krishnamurthy is involved in a 16-month project which not only provides physical garbage removal but also puts fencing in the lake to protect them from human activities, as in the case of cleaning beach from Nijambakam to Besant Nagar in Chennai. So he, as a team, follows a scientific approach towards cleaning and saving aquatic species. On wildlife conservation, the team is currently focusing on freshwater life forms, birds that are dependent on the lake where many persons live. Okay, so Arun owns his company business called Chris Info Media, which works in the area of digital media marketing, then the corporate training, business development, and election result protection. So he has also got many recognition. He was chosen as among the 5 people for prestigious Rolex Award for Enterprise Award in 2012 for scientific lake restoration in Chennai. He was the youngest to win the award. The award was in recognition of Arun's work towards lake restoration in India. Krishnamurthy had won Google Alumni Impact Award in 2011 for restoring lakes in Hyderabad. He had also directed documentary films such as Scott Life, which focuses on land and sea connection and fishes in the Lake Burma, for which he received a British Council International Climate Champion Excellence Award for showing the poor condition of sea turtles and erectus poisoned, which highlights the need to protect the aquatic environment. Also, he received the Jan Goodall Institute Global Youth Leadership Award in 2010 and Youth Action in Net Pudhiya Thalaimurai Tamilan Award. Arun was chosen as one of the 40 under 40 young leaders by the New Indian Express. Arun was named by CNN as one of the environmental heroes to inspire in 2021. The list continues. So now we are very grateful to Arun for accepting our invitation and becoming a chief guest of today's event. And also we are so honored to have her as a chief guest for today's evening. Now I request our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Arun, to address the gathering. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun sir, for that kind introduction. Vanakkam, namaste. And the whole of today, we've been doing many environment sessions, and I had the opportunity to actually meet with very many young students. For the first time, I'm becoming a student today amidst all seniors who have accomplished so much in their field, who have inspired several people. So I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to meet, greet, and speak with each of you. I run the organization called Environmentalist Foundation of India, EFI. And what we've been doing over the years is lake and pond restoration efforts. Why I started doing this particular work was simple. I grew up in suburban Chennai in a place called Mudichur. My house was strategically located between a pond which was 100 meters to the left, and a lake which was 300 meters to the right. And during the northeast monsoons every year, November, December, when the lake on the right would get filled up, it would overflow through my street into that pond. And as a child, I distinctly remember drinking water from that pond. My father hails from Tirunelveli, and he often tells me stories about Tamarabarani, how Kallidai Kurichi, Amba Samudram, or all these places are water paradises in the new earth, and how so many different lives ranging from frogs, crabs, snakes, birds, all coexist. And then when you just travel along the Tamarabarani, when you look at civilization itself and how early engineering, although they may not hold certified degrees, but there was early engineering in construction, in alignment, in every thought of development much earlier than what was known to mankind world across. And fine evidences of that is still coming out as we speak even today from Kanyakumari and all the way across India and different parts of this country, where we are able to showcase how the Indian civilization, if I may call it so, was so much more evolved in its techniques, was so much more evolved in its whole thought process of futuristic thinking. Unfortunately, we probably do not know the art of marketing and projecting all that we know, which is the reason as to why most of our cultural knowledge, most of our information from the past is today not available for present day world problems. What happened to that particular pond and lake near my house is what triggered a series of emotional battles within me. As Chennai as a city was fast growing, Mudichur is not very far from Tambaram, roughly around 6 kilometers. This was the go-to place because Mudichur had abundant water and groundwater, which was good quality, and everybody wanted to build a house in and around Mudichur. What that meant was more people in and around Mudichur, which led to a large amount of garbage being generated. And there was no waste management solutions. And the simple, easiest option was to dump garbage into the nearby lakes and ponds. And lake view roads, lake view apartments came into existence on those lakes without those lakes to be viewed anymore. And when we started dumping garbage into these lakes, our water quality depleted, our groundwater reserves fast eroded, which meant Mudichur, which was once the water capital of Chennai, lost its good quality water. This needed a community-based participation. This needed a technology-based solution. This needed a technical know-how on how to revive, restore these ecosystems that we were fast losing. 1993 to 2021, when you look at this journey of almost 28 years, the water body went from an excellent condition to a worse condition, and now is limping back from worse to somewhere between bad, and then probably would move to good, because there is a concentrated effort to restore these water bodies. That is exactly where our journey began 14 years ago. And when we look at any given water body, right, the first problem that we look at is garbage dumping. Not a disposable, non-degradable solid waste being dumped into lakes and ponds. The letting of sewage into these lakes and ponds. So as people let sewage or dump garbage into these water bodies, it's extremely difficult to maintain the biodiversity in every ecosystem as such. The habitat characteristics of all these lakes and ponds are fast lost. And that's where our community participation, community engagement became a tool through which we could convince people not to abuse, exploit water bodies as dumping sites. That is the next step where we had to go with regards to cleaning up this water body which has already been contaminated. There was a leachate issue, there was eroding bunds, structural damage to the water body. Encroachments meant that the inflow and the outflow characteristics of every water body got changed. So all of this had to be technically assessed through technology and technical means, a solution provided. That is where my education, formal education from UNESCO Institute of Hydrological Engineering in stormwater management and water management in urban centers came in handy, where we understood the nuances of water-based infrastructure, and how that needs to be perceived, and how that needs to be conveyed to the larger stakeholders, which includes the government, which includes the industry, which includes the common man and woman. So that's where we started reviving one lake after the other. With all your permission, I'll quickly share my screen to show you a bunch of images of lakes and ponds that we are restoring. We've done so far 143 lakes and ponds across the country. It's been a collaborative conservation technique where we look at water bodies which belong to the government, public water bodies only, which are under threat, which are being abused. And then we take on these water bodies with appropriate permission from the government. As a not-for-profit, we don't take money from the government, but we try to work with resources through CSR and other means. And then we pool in the industry. We don't take public donations whatsoever. And then through all the science and the knowledge that we've acquired in the area of lake pond restoration, we look at each water body, its pertaining problems. For example, this particular water body, which is in near Manali, Satangad, Chennai, is in a heavily contaminated industrial belt. Aerosol deposition to road runoff to every element of this water body has contamination in different points. But having said that, it's an important asset as a flood resistant barrier, as a groundwater recharge potential barrier, and more in that given region. So we took on the task of reviving the Satangad Lake, where work has been underway for the last almost nearly 3 months now, and we expect to work over at least another 4 months before we complete the restoration. The challenges that we face in this restoration is simple as this. The minute we start talking about lake restoration, what everybody wants is a lake where you can have a stone pitched concretized embankment on which people can go jogging, people can go running, people can sit on stone benches. You have a recreational spot, you have a boating activity in the lake or more. But we try to explain to people that a water body is not meant for that. There are so many other ecological responsibilities that each water body holds. This is the contaminated state at which a water body comes to us. We first, as you all know, all the prerequisites of science and engineering are put in place, where you do a complete assessment of soil, water quality, inflow dynamics, outflow dynamics, stability, structuring, and rainfall characteristics. All of that's taken into account. And then we starting ranging from garbage removal, de-weeding of invasive species, and desilting of the lake. Most often this is misconceived, where everybody thinks outside the engineering, the science world, I mean, where almost everybody feels the deeper you go, the more you deepen the water body, the more that you can conserve water. Nobody understands that the soil conditioning and different soil types will help you retain water, penetrate water. So you need to have that balance. So that's exactly where we take into effort a proper soil test, stability test, and then also an ecological assessment to understand the limnitic, littoral, every aspect of the given lake or a pond. And then you go about looking at shallow pockets, you look at deep pockets, what is the uniformity one has to achieve in this water body. And then we start desilting the water body and use the silt only for the embankment strengthening. Embankment strengthening, when done with soil that is excavated, silt excavated from the given water source, the stability of it becomes a huge cause of concern. And to achieve that stability is where we do a dual embankment, a multi-layer embankment, and then we try to create lines of defense for the given water body. Because it's easier for us to go clean up the water body, restore it, revive it, fence it, and then come back. But who's going to maintain the water body? Because in our communities, there's very little participation when it comes to maintenance of these water bodies. That is exactly where we have a huge challenge. As I mentioned earlier, it's extremely easy for us to step into any water body, clean it up, revive it. But who's going to maintain it? And shouldn't a natural habitat such as a lake or a pond have its own innate lines of defense? That is where the dual embankment, the outer trench, the inner trench, and then the line of fence, and more of it is being brought. We divide the lake into 3 parts: the core, the buffer, and the periphery. The periphery is where we limit human interaction, human activity. The buffer and the core, the buffer becomes the dilutionary aspects of the water body from human activity, and the core becomes the untouched pockets. And within the core, if I may show you quickly, these are different water bodies that we've done across the country. I would encourage the esteemed members to check this site a little later. I would just quickly show you this particular water body which we did near Avadi in northwest Chennai at a place called Mittanamalli. So when we worked on this lake, these are the project innovations that we talk about. We need to create nesting islands within the lake. But can we create nesting islands which just take over the water holding area? No. We have to create nesting islands which actually come up with a structure based on hydraulics, based on land availability, based on land occupied, and the different life forms. That is where we come up with cavity islands. The first picture I showed you, a sea cusp island with a nesting basking ground in between, and these G-shaped nesting islands that we come up with. And what these G-shaped and C-shaped cusp islands do, as we all know the different theorem of hydraulics, where the movement and everything of water pressure points, this is exactly how the water body looked when we took it up for restoration. If you can see my cursor, this is where we created the sea cusp island. As you can see, sand mafia would have exploited this lake in the past, where they've created deep pockets in some areas, where they've left shallow pockets in some areas, which is a major threat to all the local people. So then we'll have to look at the lake's embankment, strengthen it, dual embankment, outer, inner embankments, as I earlier said, and then look at creating these islands, and then to regularize the inflow, storage, and exhaust points of the water body. And then comes the next big challenge. What if there is no rain? Extremities of weather. What if there's absolutely no rain? Or what if there is a large cloud burst, like what happened in 2015? How stable is our lake going to be, especially in an urban center? Because immediately outside of the lake, as most of you as engineers would be worried as me, it is so disheartening to see that we don't respect natural habitats, and we're just building so close to these habitats without realizing the risk during these natural calamities. And we have to be careful, because tomorrow they wouldn't accept that they have built their homes so close to the lake, which is why they're in trouble. The blame would simply fall on the lake breached its embankment. The lake never breaches its embankment. The embankments are either broken at different points, are being destabilized by encroachers, because of which all these problems arise. So a holistic approach, keeping in mind every aspect of conservation: economical, socio-economical, ecological, climate change based, and modern day science, cultural practices, all of this is put into a thought for every single lake. This happens parallel to getting the necessary permissions, finding the money for the restoration, putting in the right set of team to do this work, and convince the local community. We can't do this in English. We have to do this in Tamil, Kannada, Bengali, Bhojpuri, Marathi, in the local languages, in vernacular. And then take stories of Tirukalingarayan from Tamil Nadu, Bangaradoddi from Karnataka, Mysore, or the step wells of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Delhi, or of the springs from Himalayan springs from Sikkim to Meghalaya and more. So cultural stories, localized stories of water conservation, of planet conservation, of how people came together. All of this, what we take to the different audience, and we try to convince them. I'm truly grateful that seniors such as each of you, who's, as I mentioned, truly accomplished so much in each of their fields, you gave me this time for patient listening, and I'm grateful for that. And I look forward to working with each of you, taking your guidance wherever possible, and do tell us how you think we can do this work better. This is how the lake was before, and this is what we brought it to. And our main idea is not beautification of water bodies. Our main idea is restoration of water bodies, retention of endemic species, and somehow revive endemic species in that given water body, get the community to understand water management and habitat management, and protect that given lake or a pond or a habitat for our future generation. That is the biggest hope with which we work on all these projects. If you go onto YouTube, and search for EFI's Hydrostan, this is the name that I'm highlighting here. If you search for Hydrostan, It's Hindustan's hydro stories. As I mentioned, from Kallanai to Kalingarayan Kalvai to the Kannadian Kalvai in Tamil Nadu to every corner, nook and corner of India, we've traveled. We have recorded these amazing documentaries on water stories from India, which we've brought out. I can share this with the organizer and request them to share it in your group. It would really help us if you could come tell us more such water stories. Celebrated engineers of India, sir, like Sir Vishweshwaraya, how they achieved so much way back then when technology or machinery of present day was not available, or every aspect of science and innovation which our forefathers accomplished. I'm inspired by that. I'm drawn by that. And who better than seniors such as each of you who can guide a young organization like mine to take on more challenging work like this and take it forward. I thank each of you for your patient listening, and I really look forward to working with every single one of you. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Arun Krishnamurthy. I think you are given excellent presentation today in regarding that lake restoration and all those things. Thanks, Krishnamurthy. If you have the participants have any questions, can ask for the speaker. So. Hello.
Sir, a lot of restoration work is going on Nilagiri Uti. I am Karthikeyan. And finding the natural species in Nilagiri, they are taking a survey also. Their natural species are devasted very quickly in Nilagiri, and they are finding what are the species are going out, and they are restoring also by planting the natural species also. Like that, you mentioned in your also there is a lot of scientific methods being followed. The G-shaped birds thing you are mentioning in your profile about the restoration of lakes. And let me ask one question. Why are you much more interested, and you are putting the job from Google, and much more time you are dedicating for restoring the natural environment? How does the interest develop among you? Is have family hereditary interest or your own interest?
Sir, I'm a small town, middle class, typical Indian boy, sir, where they would buy you new clothes 3 times a year, and then you're allowed to go with your parents once a year outside. So a simple living, and we lived in Mudichur, as I was telling you. Very few human beings in that colony back then, but several frogs, a lot of owls, lots of snakes. So I grew up with nature more than human beings. And when I got this big opportunity to work with Google, neither my father nor myself really knew what Google was. We didn't even understand how big a company Google was. It was just that I got a job after college and my father said, yes, go join. And I went, I joined, I was working there. Only while working there, in fact, I must tell you this funny story. As after I joined, my manager asked, what is your email ID? I said, krishnamurthyc18@yahoo.com. And then he looked at me and he said, you've joined Google, change your email ID. It can't be yahoo.com. That is how naive I was. That company actually groomed me. It gave me a global exposure. It introduced me to several new aspects of life. And the 2008 recession happened back then. And I saw in many big IT companies, very experienced senior members just lost their job like that. And I was speaking to my father, and my father said, always try to diversify. Don't get stuck by this new world where they're picking you up, where they're dropping you home, where they're giving you food, where there's an air conditioner in office all the time. Don't get sucked into that sophistication. What if you're 50 and there's a recession and you lose your job? Would you know how to rebuild your life from there? That really scared me. So 2 years later, when I was in a review with my manager, he looked at me and he said, if your interest is environment, you should leave. Because it's not like without you, Google won't function. Google will still survive. But without you, will your dream for environment and EFI survive? Only if you're there, EFI can come into existence and it can run. So go do that. Be at a place where you are the most required, and don't be one of them where several others can do what you're doing. That kind of gave me the confidence that we don't have to be scared about anything. And I actually quit and went back to study. And then EFI has always been a constant. So I should thank my father and my manager for giving me that confidence.
Thank you, sir. Excellent answer. And thank you very much for your interest focusing on natural environment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And in our house, we have grown a lot of trees and plants, and we are not buying any vegetable from outside. For the past 2 years, we are growing vegetables in our garden, and we are taking out, giving to our friends also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
My wife is very much interested in the nature, developing the nature. And in Salem, we have a very good climate for the past 2 days, and we are enjoying here, sitting in the portico. And most of our students are attending this program also. And thanks, Dr. Raghunath, for joining here, the former chairman and my good friend. Thank you very much, Sir Arun.
Thank you, sir.
And I really invite you for our group institutions. We have Tyagaraja Polytechnic, Sona College,
Sure,
and we will invite you for a talk to our students. Yeah.
You said
Thank-
Sona
thank-
College?
Yes,
Sona
sir.
College,
Arun, sir.
Yeah, we have
Yes,
a
sir.
group.
Sona College in Salem, Kerala.
We have a
Yeah.
we have a
I've been
group.
there, sir. I've done a
called
TED
Sona
talk
Group.
at Sona College once.
Yeah, that's nice. See, we have a group of institutions, Tyagaraja Polytechnic and Sona College of Technology, Sona College of Arts and Science, and Sona Valliyappa Public School, and Sona College of Naturopathy Yoga.
Sona College.
5 institutions.
Exam, Sona College.
Super.
Sanathiladi.
I'll connect with you, sir. I'll
Ah, yeah.
connect.
Sir, any other person have any
Yeah,
questions?
definitely. Sure. Talk.
Arun,
Yeah,
sir,
thank you.
Arun, sir, this is INR from Tyagaraja Polytechnic, sir.
Vanakkam,
Yeah,
vanakkam.
namaste, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, we already conducted the program Nature's Future in the previous year, same time, sir. On this occasion, we like to thank you, sir, for the wonderful session, and also like to thank our principal, Dr. Karthikeyan, sir, for arranging the wonderful lecture to us for the ecosystem restoration. So I just wanted to ask one question, sir. So in EFI, mostly youngsters are engaged, sir. So how they are coming voluntarily? And because we have plenty of students, so how do you coordinate with the students, and what are the activities done by the students you are doing, sir?
So what we've realized is the young population in our country definitely wants to participate on field, but there are so many forces which could misguide them or give them wrong information, or they themselves drawn to such sensationalism that I think we should use simple techniques. We should use interesting, engaging techniques to get these youngsters to think about participation. And I must brief about my experience at the Sona College TED event. After the TED event at the Sona College, a lot of students stayed until they passed out. And even after they've gone to their respective jobs, they are still in touch with me. Yeah. So there are bright youngsters who really want to serve the nation and take on social causes like environment, healthcare, education, etc. We can brainstorm together, INR sir, how we can get more students in Salem from all your institutions to participate. What I was actually trying to propose to the principal sir was this: we offer a lot of internships, we offer jobs in the area of environment conservation. So we should somehow get this idea into young people that they can do social projects and still be in a respected position in the society, make a good living, and be responsible citizens. So we can brainstorm and come up with solutions for that.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening, Arun. Good evening, Arun. This is Senthil Kumar from Salem.
Vanakkam, sir.
So, vanakkam, Arun. So already நீங்க வந்து political information spaceல நிறைய work பண்றீங்க. So இப்போ இந்த environment related the policy advocacy work ஏதாவது நீங்க பண்றீங்களா?
Yes. So whoever is in power, sir, I'm a big believer in government, federal, state, city level administration, district administration, because there cannot be another big unifying force other than the government, especially in a country which has multiple states, multiple languages, religious equations. The only unifying force is a government, sir. And most often it is misconceived that government is politicians. But I believe government is politicians, bureaucrats, and the people. I look at the bureaucrats and the people and the select set of politicians who actually have interest in these subject areas. அவங்களெல்லாம் வச்சுக்கிட்டு we have actually done several policy level interventions. To name a few, when late Chief Minister Madam Jayalalitha was alive, we had actually proposed to the then Chief Minister what is called as the Tamil Nadu Water Security Mission. And it actually, after much discussion, deliberation, it became a Rule 110 in the State Assembly. The Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, or much recently, as early as yesterday, when the Tuticorin MP, Madam Kanimudi, or the Minister, Mr. Anita Radhakrishnan, they actually came for a site inspection at a particular lake on the banks of Tamarabarni, near Tuticorin, at a place called South Attu. So cutting across party lines, people who have interest in environment, and specifically at district level, sir, whether it's Kanchipuram Collector Madam Maheshwari or Tirupur Collector Dr. Vijay Karthikeyan, all these individuals, we work very closely with all of them, where we actually propose projects on nature conservation, and whoever is interested, sir, we work in 15 states. We work in 15 states. When these officers and when these politicians get transferred or moved around, we actually travel with them, because they have an interest in environment. Other base money, we've been able to do a lot. Otherwise, EFI could not have taken on 141 water bodies. Our level of policy intervention reached its peak when the Honorable Prime Minister was hosting the Honorable Chinese President here at Mahabalipuram, when we actually got an invite to come restore a pond behind Krishna's Butterball. It's called the Konneri tank. The reason why I got the name Konneri was Maad okandittra mari irukum and the eri pathingana aerial view. It resembles a sitting cow. So Kovin eri Konneri. So we got the opportunity to work on that lake. Again, sir, it would look like you will not see us talking about this in public forum, because then everybody adds political tinge to it. Now, when you looked at the names I mentioned, I've mentioned names from all parties, just individuals who have environmental interest in different parties. And when they show that interest, we work with them. If they encourage our work, we work with them. So on the level of policy level interventions, at district level, at city government level, the biggest success story for EFI with policy would be the Greater Chennai Corporation and EFI's collaboration in the last 9 years. Whether it's beach cleaning efforts, lake pond restoration efforts, all of this has been possible. So again, I will repeat, sir, I'm a big believer in government, not the political establishment, the government, because we have a role in the government. And if we work closely with the government with a positive attitude, with no hidden agenda, things actually work, sir. And this is where I wish to leave this question. A lot of negative things get said about India in the global platform. Sir, I will tell you this. After the 2015 floods, Greater Chennai Corporation took on the task of reviving 300 water bodies within Chennai city. 268 water bodies, work is complete, right? Nobody talks about it, sir. Nobody talks about it. In fact, NGOs, I'm not just EFI. EFI did 47 of those water bodies. Different NGOs, different corporates, government themselves did a part of several projects, and it's still continuing. You all know, like until 2 months ago, we had a different government. Now we have a different government. The work still continues. But when you look at global media, they were in Chennai when the floods happened. They were in Chennai when the drought happened. But now when we write to them, telling them, look at the story, positive story. There is a city administration which is reviving water bodies in such a large scale. Nobody is showing interest. That's when a journalist friend told me, Arun, it's really boring. You're calling me and telling me they're cleaning that lake. Tell me if that lake catches fire. Tell me if there is some problem. That is what people want to watch. What do I do? She's a very dear friend, a very genuine journalist. She wants to tell positive stories, but nobody wants to watch those positive stories. That's what we realize. So I think if we all collaborate, work with different levels of government, we can achieve a lot more for India's environment, is my belief.
Thank you, Arun. Great to know.
Sir, I am Dr. Bhaskaran. Yes, sir. Hello, very good lecture, sir. I am Dr. E. Bhaskaran, Joint Director from Indices Department. So you praised the government. I am very happy about that. Sir, I am in Entrepreneurship Development Institute. We want to promote social entrepreneurs. So how we can mingle with you? Any entrepreneurs can be trained for this on social activities for developing the lakes. Any tie-up you have with social entrepreneur, so that we will also come forward to give training and do the work. It's any idea you are having? regarding
So
that?
especially at the time of the pandemic, when there are many people who are losing jobs, I think it's important we push youngsters to think beyond the conventional methods of employment and look at social entrepreneurial ventures. And there are very many
Okay.
ideas, sir. One, for them to understand, now what we've realized is, sir, everybody wants quick money with no work. Everybody wants a lot of money in a very short time doing absolutely nothing. Somehow to
Yes, sir.
break that mindset, and then to get them to experience the perks of working on a realistic project, innovate. அது எல்லாமே பண்றதுக்கு there are multiple ways, sir. I will probably take your email ID, phone number, connect with you,
Yeah.
and then brainstorm. We recruit social entrepreneurs at EFI. I can give you those models. We can come up with something and do something, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Rajamani
Mr.
sir.
Arun, Mr. Arun,
Yes, sir.
congratulations, you have done so many new works in this. How do you generate funds for this work?
So for my personal living, I run a market research company, sir. That's how we earn my living. But for EFI, what we do is we have a lot of collaboration. When you look at Hinduja Foundation, Ashok Leyland Finance, IndusInd Bank, all of them have water projects. We identify lakes and ponds, and then we get them to pay for the machine, labor, fuel, and we are a registered trust. So part of CSR, we do this. And that's how EFI functions. Any project, social project that we take up, we generate funds through CSR, and that's how we do it. We don't take government money, we don't take public donations.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
Also, to the organizer, is it okay, sir, if I'm relieved
Thank
in
you.
2-3 minutes, because I have
Okay.
another session? Please don't mind. I would
Okay,
really
okay,
love
okay.
to extend this conversation, but today is Environment Day, so tapa nanachikaringa.
Okay, sir. Ms. Kannan sir, kindly give the vote of thanks, sir.
Thank you, Ramdas. Really, it is
His
my
email
great,
ID.
it is my great privilege and pleasure to say a vote of thanks on this important day of World Environment Day. Really, my sincere thanks to our today's chief guest, Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy, environmentalist, founder of Environmental Foundation of India, founder of Krish Information. Now today he was giving so much of knowledge about the environment ecosystems, and it is a valuable and thought-provoking, very informative speech on the ecosystem. This restoration of water bodies, really a great job, wonderful job you are doing, Mr. Krishnamurthy. Thank you very much for your services. Thank you. As I know, I'm
Sorry, mobile number.
yeah, I'm a marine engineer. I know what are the problems we face about the environmental systems in the sea, because we are all restricted not to drop an oil in the sea, no garbage, no sewage, no smoke, black smoke. We have got lot of restrictions by the international maritime organizations. So we know the complete difficulty of how to escape from all these things. See, near the States, if United States, if any, about a liter of oil is in the sea, somewhere the just drop it. Then when you are seeing, even if 50 miles away, after going to the port, then there will be a Coast Guard standing on this thing, and they will have a fine. So they have got that much of this thing, information by helicopter and all these things to take the photograph and give us this thing. So that is what we lived in that situation. There are a lot of economic zones. They have got all over the world. We are not supposed to smoke. The black smoke should not come from the ship. So many restrictions are there. So we were in the hardships we have come out. So now I know what are the difficulties you face when you are doing all this restoration of lakes and economic these things. So really a wonderful job you are doing. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I thank all our present chairman, Mr. Ramdas, the Institute of Marine Engineers India, Tamil Nadu State Center, Mr.
Institution of Engineers, sir.
Sorry, very sorry. My parent body is coming to my mind all the time. Sorry. So sorry for that. So Institute of Engineers India, Mr. Arul Selvan, Chairman, Salem Center, and our Mr. Loganathan, Honorary Secretary, Mr. Karthikeyan sir, for all of you are arranging a valuable lecture. All of you, thank you very much, sir. Thanks. And my sincere thanks to all the council members from Tamil Nadu State Center and the other states council members have come today. I hope there are about 120 participants. Really a great, wonderful this thing, the lecture to listen. A lot of people have participated in this day. I'm really proud of it. I thank every participant. So my sincere thanks to honorary secretaries, chairman of all the local centers and other institutes. From our institute also, people have come to see the environmental ecosystem speech. So I really thank one and all for the coming and participating in this technical lecture. Thanks to one and all of you, and I wish stay safe in this lockdown period and be happy and healthy. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
I'll
sir.
take leave.
Thank
Thanks
you.
to everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.